Welcome back, Firewood addicts, to another episode of Travis Does Firewood. Today we're talking about on-site tools. Let's do it. So I've been on site a lot lately where I have to bring stuff to a location and I am bucking or cutting there, or having a noodle on site and then loading either a trailer or my truck. So I need to bring tools and do not forget anything. So I need to make a checklist. So this is a video on what I like to bring. It's not exhaustive, it may change per situation or context, but like a general guide of what I would like to put in the back of my truck. First off, saws or saws, at least one saw. Now I don't care what size bar you have on your saw. I don't care what cc's you have. You could have a 25 cc with an 18-inch bar or maybe 10-inch bar, I don't know, a chainsaw. If that's all you have, then that is all you have. The best saw to have is a saw that's in your hands running. None of us can afford a higher cc, longer bar, brand name saw. I'm just saying. Okay, not everyone can afford one. I would love a bigger saw. I would. I've been talking about a bigger saw for a while on the channel. I don't have the means to buy one right now. I could get one next week, next month, but we'll see what's in the cards. As right now, I don't have the actual cash on me, the income, just to buy a new saw. If you want to buy me a new saw, let me know and we can chat about that. But as of right now, I have two 20-inch bar saws, and I like bringing at least two saws with me, two larger saws. So if one's cutting and one breaks or it gets dull, I go to the other one. Now sometimes I don't bring gas with me. I just bring two saws with the hope in that one will last and not break on me. So I go through one tank of gas, and then when that tank is empty, I go to saw number 2 and keep working. And that usually is more than I need for one job. So a big saw is on you when you're on a site. Yeah. On the note of chainsaws, I've been recently using my small handheld battery operated saw to mark at 16. So I guess this is a chainsaw, but I'm going to put this in tandem with my marker. So this is a AccuMark marker. This is not adjustable. It's just at 16-inch, where this will have a magnet on it, and you put it on the bar, make sure it's not hitting the teeth on the bar, magnetized, and you go to mark you put this on the end of a log or around, you put on the edge, and then you mark, and then you put this part in the groove of the following of that cut, and then you make 16, and then you'll go. There's other ones like this that are adjustable. You can definitely make your own. I may do that because it's handy to have these around. This likes to bend, which is, I guess, happens, but and I painted this now so I can see it, because you definitely don't want to lose these things, because the brand name ones are not cheap. So type of saw to mark. Now in the past, I would use one of my smaller cc saws, like my 435 for marking. So you have one chainsaw for marking, and then you switch hands to the bigger saw for bucking. Now that's an idea, but just one more thing to carry around, one more thing that is gas. This one seems to work out thus far. I need to sharpen the chain on this one, but yeah, a marker. So tools on location are very similar to what you would have in your garage, in your shop, or whatever, to do any type of wood processing. But to remember all those small details, have a checklist or whatever. You may forget something. I tend to always forget something. the last time I was on location, at the last time that we did Cottonwood, I forgot my marker. I forgot my marker, but I had my 16-inch stick in my stuff from my sauna guy. So I used that. Not ideal, but I tend to forget stuff. So I hope that this video helps with things to bring in your head, and then you could make your own checklist. Anyway, back to the list. PPE. I don't care what type of chaps, what brand, what size, what color. If it's chaps or you have a chainsaw pants, they make pants too. You need chaps. If you're gonna be doing any bucking or use of a chainsaw, wear chaps. Nothing, something's better than nothing. And this is a non-name brand from Amazon. I need to upgrade at some point, but it's something to protect your body, or your legs at least. So yeah, so chaps. And then I like to wear a helmet. Not that it's gonna fall on my head, but it has a visor, which is nice. Can see through it. I do like to wear safety goggles, even though I have the visor with it, just in case, because you have things shooting in different angles, and just to make sure that your eyes are protected. And then I do tend to wear earplugs in my ears with the headphones. So because even with the porta saw, it was definitely loud. So I want to make sure that I am safe. So I do bring my PPE with me. The time I didn't, that was a bad day, and I got yelled at. So make sure that this is one of your top things to bring, is your PPE when you're going to run a chainsaw. All right, so in terms of like tools you have, I mean, you want to make sure that you have, if something breaks down, you need to adjust something, fix something, you have tools. So I have my ratchet, scrunch. I think it's handy, both steel and husky bolt sizes. So this is really handy, cool. I did paint it, but it seemed to come off the paint, so make sure that this is definitely a color code is where you can find it and see it, because these are not cheap. So yeah, scrunch. I have my long needle nose pliers, just I don't know, in case. A multi screwdriver, just in case, because sometimes the scrunch to just the tension on the chain, it's kind of awkward. So it's nice having a screwdriver to get in there. It's small wire brush, just in case, for stuff. And then a pair of just a regular, come on, I'm in this bucket, and they're kind of hard to get out to show you. Anyway, just a pair of pliers. Like, you never know. And then in here, it's kind of stuck, but there's a funnel in there, because I like funnels. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with funnels. To have them around is nice. One thing I want to make sure in here is I tried this yesterday, and this was too fat of a blade, or maybe it's just me, but something to scrape the bar channel, make sure that's cleared out. If you haven't done it in a while and you're on site and it gets clogged with your teeth, whatever, make sure that you have something to get in there. So that's hand tools. Now I have this bag, this satchel of water stuff in here, and this is mostly like my metal wedge bag. So you've seen this small metal pry bar in my toolkit. So it's painted now, and I use this to pry stuff. It's nice to have around, and this is always in that little satchel bag. Make sure not in that bag, but I like having a hatchet around, especially when I have my splitter on me, to make sure that any threads can be cut real quick. But I used this recently, the blunt edge, to pound in plastic wedges. So I usually have my small sledgehammer for that, but it's nice having another tool. So I think having an hatchet sometimes is handy. Now plastic wedges, I got this new pack from Yard, or from, what was it called? Yeah, Yard Morris, right? Now this pack is handy. I like having different sizes. If you're interested in this packet, I'll leave a link below. But having to have plastic wedges is nice for when you're bucking or I mean, you never know when you're gonna get pinched. So not having some wedges on you. My other measuring stick, just in case. In there, now I have several. I have several metal wedges. I like metal wedges a lot when I'm trying to get a round down to size and more manageable pieces. So I won't tend to noodle all the way through. I'll tend to noodle partial way through and finish the job with a metal wedge. Now I have multiple of these just in case, because sometimes they get stuck, and if one gets stuck, then you're kind of screwed. So having multiple wedges, I think, is nice. In the same bag, I have my small sledgehammer, which I used to use for the metal wedges. I will start this out with the metal wedges with this thing, and then end up with the bigger sledgehammer if need be. But usually this will do the job. I have an extra pair of ear protection. I mean, if you forget your helmet or forget your earplugs, this is better than nothing. So it's in here, hammered, but it's something, right? And then I have a tape measure, a cheapo, just in case you need to measure. You know, just have it around. You might as well. Yeah, so that's the satchel of tools. Just to everything's in there and contained. It's in the bag. Even if I'm in my own yard, I'll bring the whole bag out with me. So not having it in the little bag for when I'm going on location. So obviously, what you bring if you're on location to get wood or process wood or whatever you're doing on location, it may differ. But I think to have like a master list and then go through what you may need. And some days you may not need everything. Some days you may need something more specific, or niche, or yeah, based on what you're doing. So, but I think for sure something that we all need is gloves. I mean, it's nice to keep your hands safe, clean. I think there's good things with having gloves and having good gloves. I do like these. The blue ones, but I've used one from Costco, Amazon, Harbor Freight, and I have gloves. I mean, throughout my yard and my truck. So if I need gloves, then I can just go anywhere, and usually they're dry and they're hanging up and they're there. So, but gloves. So another thing is I like these. I bought these tongs. I think tongs. These tongs. I don't know. Hooks. I don't know what you call these things. I forget. But they're one-handed. I have two of them, so in theory, I can pick up a piece of wood or a round, and not have to bend over. I use this to pick it up and put it on my splitter. So if you're gonna be moving or having to stack or to load or to split, I think having one of these is nice. And so you're having to hit so you can save your back. Now note 2, have a PV. So this is my oldest, one is mine. It's older, not that strong, but it's something. Something is better than nothing. So I tried this before. I think I'm gonna sharpen these points because they're not very sharp now that I look at them. So that would definitely help to kind of dig into the log and to be able to roll it. But this is definitely better than using your back or your body to train yourself to move around over so you can continue to cut. So I think one of these, or like one of those like log oxes would be nice, but I don't have a log ox because they're super expensive. Log ox, contact me if you want to sponsor the channel or send me one. I will definitely review it for you. Wink. But yeah, I think one of these are nice and handy, and if I want to use, rock and roll. Now the note of the small sledge, definitely a bigger sledgehammer to run home those metal wedges. This, I believe, is the 8-pounder head. You see me swinging this around sometimes, which is nice. That's having that weight and that force to come down on the metal wedge to make sure that you can split up those big rounds into smaller sizes, so you can be able to move them and not kill yourself. So if you don't have this, then you have a splitting maul. This is nice with the blunt edge to slam down on those on those minimum edges. And this is a 2-for-1 deal where you can actually use this, obviously, to split. So I need to sharpen this per Brandon from Whiskey River. I need to sharpen this to get it more of an edge on it, to a point where this can actually do its job and not just bounce off the round. So yeah, I think a maul would be nice as well. And then, I mean, you might as well just bring an axe right now. So this is my Fiskars. I need to sharpen it a little bit. I can't find Old Red. She's around here somewhere. I need to get better about putting back my tools where they go, so I'm not, when I need them, I know where they are, not somewhere around my yard. Anyway, to have an axe on you is nice. Around, if you want to set up something real quick or cut some stringy pieces, and this definitely safer than using maybe a hatchet in certain situations when you're doing wood. So yeah, axe. Yeah, so again, these are just ideas, because usually when you're at home in your own yard with your own garage, you have all this stuff there, you just use it. But when you're on location, that's different, because you don't have all, you may not have all the tools you have at home, obviously, right? So to have this video, to have more of ideas of what you would possibly need when you're not in your yard, but yeah, you want to do firewood, you want to process, you want to cut, you want to fell trees, whatever, and it may not come to mind as you're preparing yourself to gear up, to load up, to do that. So yeah, one of the things you may want to consider is a stump vise, or some sort of way to sharpen your chain. If you have 2 chains or 2 chainsaws, and one is dull, then one gets dull right away when you start using it, then you're running with dull. And maybe bring more chains. I mean, that could be something that you would bring more chains per each chainsaw, sub on a new chain, and then keep bucking, keep bucking rolling. Or if you would take the time, use this to sharpen, and then with that too, you have your whole little satchel of potential files. Know which file goes with what chain, with what saw. But if you want to take the time to file, to make sure that your regulations are down enough, so you're sharp enough to do the job. So maybe consider files and then a way to hold your bar when you're filing. Next, because you're going to be running probably a chainsaw. If you're going to be bringing chainsaws, you'll be running chainsaws, you need a way to power them. So one jug, probably hopefully all mixed up in fresh fuel. Mixed, I like to write what number mix I have, because I have different mixes. This is 50-to-1 mix here, and for my Pinkway, this is almost empty, so it's time to review after one gallon of gas on the Pinkway how that fared. So this is my 25-to-1, which will probably change out to do a different ratio soon, but it's a different gas per different size, perhaps. Or then I got this. True Fuel, so 40 mix if you have that too. I mean, some pre-made mix is nice sometimes. And then bar oil. I don't care what type of bar oil you run. I don't see the point in bringing the whole gallon jug with me, so I'll just pour some of the bigger from the bigger jug into a smaller one. So I carry around the smaller jug with me. I put them in like a milk carton so they don't tip over, so I just slide this in my truck or my trailer, whatever, and then I go. So yeah, gas, bar oil, and then in here is just a rag. If you spill some or on your hands, just a rag is nice, it's handy. Yeah, it's one thing I would have on me all the time, or try to, because when you don't bring something is when you need it. Kind of like a spare tire for your trailer. The one day you don't bring that spare tire is the day that you get a flat. It's just, that's the way it works. It's the oddest thing. So I always bring extra ratchet straps to make sure that any load that I have on my truck or on my trailer is secure. And with that, I have at least one large mesh tarp, so I can kind of close everything and wrap it around it, so that is not going to go anywhere, and I feel secure and safe enough to go down the road that none of my load is going to fall off and cause an accident It's just, you don't want that. So make sure that your load is secure. So ratchet straps, bungee cords, tarps, whatever you have in your arsenal or buy, do that. Make sure that your load is secure. And as you've seen when I'm on location, like on a site, I'll bring a hand truck, or I'll bring one dump, a wheelbarrow with me to ferry wood or pieces of wood or rounds, and that seems to help your back and your body to loading the whole process. So one of like the bigger tools that you may need or think of when you're on location. I mean, there's definitely a lot of stuff you could bring, but there's so much space, which is one thing I thought about when I'm stacking wood in my truck. Now my truck bed is full. I can't put any more tools. I can't put the tools that I brought to the site in the bed of the truck, and I don't feel comfortable enough to strap down my chainsaw to the edge of the pallets or the edge of the tote and have them not fly away. I'm sure they'll be fine. I'm paranoid. I don't want things to fly away, you know. So I'm not putting my saws in my cab, which I don't want to do that again. I don't want to put my chainsaws in the cab of my truck. I just don't want to do that. And that you don't want to put fuel, gas cans in the bed in the cab of your vehicle. It's just it's unsafe. So that's why I'm leaning towards just bringing a trailer with me when I'm on jobs, to take the tools with me in the bed of my truck. And on the way home, the tools stay in the bed of my truck. They're safe, secure, not going to go anywhere. That way the trailer is for the wood and the bed of the truck is for the tools, leaving the cab for people and my camera. So yeah. So this is what I would bring. This is what I do bring with me when I'm on location, getting wood that needs to be altered, modified, cut, split, whatever, on site to be able to get it. Your list may be different from mine, or your master list may be different. Each situation, each site may be different. So I think it's good to have a master list, and then each site the night before, going through that list and kind of checking off what I need. And then don't be in a hurry. Make sure that morning or the day of, make sure that you bring everything that you planned on bringing, and some water too. Would be good. Maybe one more pair of gloves, perhaps. Maybe one more shirt if you get wet or hot and sweaty. I mean, this is just some ideas. This is not exhaustive. So, what did I miss? Down below in the comments, let me know what I missed that's on your list. When you're on location getting wood, that's in your backwoods, at the neighbor's house, down the way from a guy in the next city over who has free wood from marketplace. What are you bringing to that site to make sure that you can get that wood fast and easy? You let me know. What did I miss on my list? Yeah. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Until next time, stay safe, rock and roll, keep cutting. Cheers.